Welcome to Ange-r Management, which I've just seen is looking really, really different because whereas Johnny is in the nice daylight, I am here in the pitch black 5 a.m. Toronto morning. Guys, sorry for being half an hour late. I overslept. The one time I oversleep since I've been back would happen to be this time. But welcome to Ange-r Management to discuss everything going on that happened in our 1-0 victory at Luton. Johnny, how are you, sir?
I'm all right. I thought it was Halloween, actually. I thought this was the Halloween special where
Oh,
we were going
mate.
to sit in the dark.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can make it a bit lighter. I forgot about this light. 1 second. A little bit lighter. There we go. There we go. You were there yesterday, weren't you?
I was indeed. I was indeed.
How was it there? How was the
Yeah, I mean,
atmosphere?
it's like it's a crazy ground, a crazy ground. I mean, the walkway is your worst nightmare. Back in the day, you'd probably track down this long corridor with no way out and beaten to a pulp. It was like literally, a back alleyway, and I am not joking. Maybe enough room if you're lucky for two people, one to fit one way and one to fit the other. And it just one side's a railway track, the other side is like this thing, and then you go through a bunch of houses.
I saw the video. It was just crazy. But listen, it's another 1-0 win. We're still doing this in the Premier League, mate, where we haven't had a bad word to say or discuss a defeat. But let's just say hello to everyone in here that we do. There's already 71 people in here. So we have Leo and Lego. Good morning to you. Chris Agambar. Good morning, sir. We have Mark Cook. Good morning, Savrog. Big morning to you. Dave Rodrigo Roadman. Big up.
Morning, Dave.
We have Mr. Mackay. Um, we have Rich, big up, Rich. How are you? Jonas, my brother from Finland, is in the building. On your bike, Scott, Andrew Gregory, Mark Cousins, Amin Cones, morning, Fran,
Morning,
um,
Frank.
James Joris, Kate Rickman. Good morning, Kate. Chris. Who else is in here? We have Dragon D's Nuts, and of course we have Mr. Colin Cross. How are you all? And James Flower has just joined us. So big up, James. How
Morning,
are you?
James.
So, for people, as we know, this is our review of a match day. And just so people are aware of this, and we're going to make it clear, we always start with should there be any the negatives. We discussed anything that we found negative within the game, and I think there'll be a few today. Positives, which there'll be a load. Special mentions for players that deserve it. And then last, but by no means least, Mr. Big Ange himself. So, Johnny, as we always start with you, let's go with the negatives, matey.
Our finishing was atrocious yesterday. Absolutely atrocious. No excuses for it. Richie missed a couple. Porro missed a good chance. Sonny missed a chance. Madison missed a chance. You can't have that type of finishing. You know when you come to play the big teams. I mean, the Bissouma sending off would have been nothing had we finished those.
Yep.
That's what the flies are still there, Mark. Unfortunately, mate, the flies are still there. I actually popped over to a cousin yesterday after the game, and I said, "Look, I'm dying of thirst because it's been a long day." He made me a cup of tea, and as I pulled up my tea, all of a sudden I saw two flies, and I said, "Oh my god!" I said, "If I bought the flies," she goes, "Have you got fruit flies?" I said, "Yeah, I have." She said, "Oh my god!" She goes, "I've had them. They are the worst thing." So we had a 15-minute fruit fly discussion, and
Well, that was good.
the kids who I'd gone to see were like discarded in favour of the fruit flies. Yeah. So no, I thought the finishing is going to cost us if we don't
Yep.
do it. I mean, and yes, Richarlison is definitely culpable yesterday, without any doubt. But I think we were a few were culpable yesterday. There were chances. There were plenty of chances. It's just not good enough. Basically, just not good enough. Not good enough. Morning,
Oh,
Red.
that reminds me, with Ren coming up and James Flower in the chat, before we do anything, happy birthday, Big Vic, for yesterday. Got to remember our Big Vic fan
Yeah,
club going on here. But yeah, any more negatives, Johnny?
yeah. It's a strange one. This, we gave up so many chances yesterday. I mean, Luton's absolutely shocking finishing was as abysmal as ours. I mean, there was one at the back post there where all he needed to do was use his wrong foot, and he tried to use his right foot instead of his left, and missed it. There was a clear header where he was completely unmarked, and he missed that. And there was another one where he completely snatched at his chance. Yeah, I think that, look, had we taken our chances and with the Bissouma going off, they probably would have scored a goal, but we would have been out of sight. But yesterday, we were not good at all. I didn't think we were good. It was a hard day. I didn't want Sonny to start yesterday
Same.
because I said this the same about Sheffield United. You know, he got bullied at Sheffield United. I thought it was a pointless game, and again he got bullied.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take off, or I'll start off where you left off with Son. It was exactly the same as Sheffield United, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't dropping. There's more concern for his injury and the way they play. You can have different teams that play. I always used to say this with Rafa van der Vaart. Loved him as a player, absolutely world class, but don't play him against Stoke because he can't play when you play
yeah.
against Stoke. They just bullied him and he couldn't do what he was best at. So I completely agree with Son, and it could have rested him, and he could have come on and made an impact if he'd come on for the last 2025. Richarlison, I'm
Very
starting to,
sad.
mate. Joe, listen, there was the tug on his shirt for
Yeah,
the first one, but it was still such an opening
yeah.
that it
He should have
came off his
scored.
shoe.
There's no
And
excuses.
the second one, and it, do you know what it is? Against Liverpool, at least his overall play was
Yeah,
offering something. Yesterday, and that was the kind of game where you thought he would have thrived
he
in.
should have risen in that
E-
game. Yeah,
Exactly,
in
you
the
really would have thought
physicality.
that. And again, it could be he's missing Perisic. If Perisic was fit and Perisic could cross those balls in,
I don't
could,
know. I don't think. Listen, I don't think there's any excuse at all for his performance yesterday. I don't think there was any really. I just think, you know, there was a lot of negatives yesterday. I thought Bissouma was arrogant yesterday. He was a bit arrogant.
oh,
You know, the sending off was poor. Was poor. You know, we're dominating the game. You know, why did you need to do that? Why did you need to do that? Um,
well,
you
this
know,
is the thing, Johnny. What I was going to say is you look at it, and this is where when we talk about the negatives, where you and I show that when people when said people that have done not so well, or we've
yeah,
criticised them, when they've done well in special mentions, we will mention them. But it works both ways. It works
well, of
both
course.
ways. And in someone that we have praised undeniably, who I think has been our key player this season, Bissouma, yesterday is going straight into the negatives because getting the yellow card, we all wanted him to get a yellow card. We all wanted him to get, but he is such an action-packed player. When a player like him gets booked so early, he's always running the risk. But never in my wildest dreams would I have thought the sending off he would have got was for that. It was pathetic. It was unneeded. It was a minute before half time, going 0-0, and game would have been start again 11 against 11. You're suspended against Fulham, but he's very, very, very lucky that the other 10 men put in a shift and got him out of jail yesterday because he could have been in big, big problems, couldn't he?
Yeah, look, before the game, I
Good
said
morning,
I
Kim.
expect. Morning, guys, girls, Kim. Um, sorry, I've only just woken up myself. The I said before the game, I thought they would try to level this up, right? The referees, VAR, what have you, whatever you want to call it. And in those first few minutes, I turned round and I said to the guys who stood with, because it was a free for all. You sat where you want,
Yep.
which
Oh,
was
well,
really weird. Yeah, just sit where am I? And he said, no, you sit where you want. I turned around and said, after the first two challenges, Maddison, they've gone through the back of Maddison twice. Within the first 5 minutes, they've gone through Maddison and Son. Son's lying on the floor. Twice, he's like this with his hands, like to the referee, what's going on? Like, how many more times is this going to happen? I turned around and I said, they're going to level up today. And sure enough, the first challenge of any worth, which was Bissouma's, right? He got a yellow card. You just knew that yesterday, after the Liverpool game, that something was going to happen. And I hope to God, right, that Brighton don't get the rough end of the stick today when they play Liverpool, because, you know, one thing's got nothing to do with the other. But I felt that was the way it was going to go yesterday. We weren't going to get anything. And for Bissouma, I would be surprised if the players or the management haven't said, you know, let's be easy with the refs today. Okay, tread carefully, because they could be looking to level it up. Absolute stupidity.
That's true. But also what I'll add with that, Johnny, as well, is that, and we can talk about it more when we get to Big Ange, but the great thing was how Ange came out and defended him immediately. Rather than said, listen, he's made a mistake. It's all done. It's all sorted. Blah, blah. He didn't come in and just lay into him. He may have done in the changing room. But we'll see. But this is also so right. If this had been any other team, because their finishing was shambolic. Their finishing was...
And ours was shambolic.
Yep.
Ours was shambolic. Theirs was shambolic.
Yep. You're right. You're right. Any other negatives you can think of?
Yes.
Go on.
Eric Dyer on the bench. Again.
Yep.
Listen, I was disappointed not to see Jamie Donnelly on there, but you know, when you have Gio back, and you have Gill back, it's only right that they should, be on the pitch. But it was a pathetic dive. He should have known better. And we'll get on to someone who showed him up yesterday.
And I'll tell you what, I have to say with that, well done to the referee, because the referee, or all referees, are under such scrutiny at the moment. He saw that. Obviously, we didn't get to see it straight away. We thought it was a free kick in the.
I thought it was a penalty because I was down the other end. I saw it was a great move, a great run, right?
Yep.
I just don't understand why he felt the need to do that.
Exactly. So fair play to the referees, and as someone said in the comments, who was it? Just a minute ago, about players should be fined. Where was it? Let me see. I completely agree with this. Across the Premier League, there should be some kind of thing set, because it's the one thing I can't stand. It's the one thing I can't stand across the board. But that's enough of the negatives, because we did win again. Positives, Johnny. I'll tell you what, Johnny. Let's start with the picture that you tweeted, and I as soon as I was watching Match of the Day yesterday, I saved it. I didn't know whether we put this in. Where we put this in.
Yeah, I'd speak to
Ange-r
last night, drafted it. But
let's just have a look at this. This is what Match of the Day said yesterday. 20 points plus after 8 games before this season. There's been 28 teams that have done it. Let's go from the bottom. Outside top 4 from points this season. Out of those 28, 2. Top 4, 26. And the most and we're not saying we're going to be champions, but 11 of those 26 have gone on to be champions. So where we're all having our predictions of 6th, 8th, mid-table, whatever, top 4, these kind of stats in the Premier League don't lie normally, do they?
No, they don't. And my tweet, I put, to dare is to do is our motto.
Yep.
But it's okay to dare to dream, right? And I'm going to allow myself to dream and enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with dreaming. Football's about dreams. Every year we dream about our signings, our top signings. We dream about beating Arsenal, or we dream about winning a cup. Football is about dreams, okay? And until the dream is dead, like in the Carabao Cup, which was very disappointing, then, I'm going to carry on. Am I expecting us to win the league? No. Did I expect us to finish in the Champions League? Well, I actually thought we'd finish fifth. That's what I was thinking this season. But we shall see. We shall see. Hopefully, we're not number 3 in that list.
Oh God, could you imagine? But Johnny, just before we carry on with the positives, just want to bring this up, which was right, because once again, idiots took to Bissouma with the racial abuse and hatred for getting a red card. And I even saw some people going, "Oh, he's a shit overrated player," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" For the whole of this season, and when we bought in, everyone, and rightly so, has been waxing lyrical about him. But because he got a red card, this is what the world we're living in right now, and these people need to sort themselves out because he has been outstanding, and I think we could all safely say that before this game, everyone was hoping Bissouma got booked, so he missed Fulham as opposed to missing Chelsea. Yes, he got over carried away. Yes, he did something stupid, but it's in his position where he's going to do it.
I
Not
mean,
the actual, not the actual instance of getting that dive, but as a midfielder, it's something that could happen.
we got
Uh,
another problem. We
Gone.
got a problem now because he keeps his 4 yellow cards, right? And if he
Yep.
gets booking against Crystal Palace, he misses Chelsea, right? And the likelihood is he'll
I
get
didn't know
booked.
that.
Yeah,
Oh, for crying out loud.
yeah.
For crying out loud. Anyway,
So he misses the next game and keeps the 4.
oh, fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, let's get back onto the positives. Let's get back onto the positives. Where were
So
you?
the positives were, for the first time in a long while, we actually started quickly.
Didn't we just?
What I've been asking for all season, it finally happened, yet we couldn't finish our dinner. And yes, Richarlison missed 2, Porro missed 1, Maddison missed 1. We had numerous chances. We literally should have been 3 or 4 up, I reckon, potentially by half time before the before the incident happened. So that
Yep.
for me was a positive.
Well, here we go. So let's have a look at this. I mean, the way I looked at this, Johnny, for a positive is when I went on We Are Tottenham TV and everything, and I tweeted, not the manner of the victory. If you look at it, let's look at the tests we passed. We went 12:30 kickoff, which we know is a bad thing with
Yeah.
us, and we don't have the best record. Could we stand up to it? Test passed. Another positive. The whole world is looking at us, going, "Oh my God, look at this Ange ball! How long can it continue? How Spursy would it be if we lose to
Waiting for us
Luton?"
to pop. Yeah.
Passed that test. Could we handle playing 10 men for the first time with Ange ball and get a result? Test passed. Could we hold onto a lead going down to 10 men and still play the Ange system? Test passed. Are we top of the league and unbeaten after 8 games? Test passed. We'll talk more about the special mentions because there's going to be. I'm going to wax lyrical about a few people, and I'm sure you will as well, Johnny. But every single test that we're being thrown at us, apart from Fulham, we are passing. And I will also say this will go under Ange as well. Every single game, even when Skip and Emerson came on yesterday, sorry, for Son
Good
and
point.
Maddison, I was just like, that's a very good point, actually. Like Man City, Burnley,
Yeah.
it's a very good point. That's why it's a very good point. But this is the thing. This is what we were doing under Conte, under Jose, under Poch. Um, it's another test pass. But you look at it, everything that's going on, the substitutions, even his substitutions, when you're like, why Skip and Emerson coming on for Son and Maddison? He's right. He's
Well,
absolutely right.
yeah. I don't know about. Yeah.
Whatever you listen,
Yeah.
whether you agree with the player itself, like you said, I'd rather Velisa started. I wanted Velisa to start, but no matter what's happening, when he makes his subs, whether they've been what we would do or not, we've gone and got the game won. So you can't really. I guess you can have a bit of an argument about it, but I think literally everything this man is doing turns to gold at the moment, literally. But here we go, Johnny. We're going to change it up now, unless you've got another positive.
Well, I thought the fans. I thought the fans again were great, even when we went down to the 10 men. I thought, look, we battled well yesterday. we were not good. We were not good. And I think, you know, that in itself is a positive, that even though we weren't good, we fought hard. And for me, the shining thing really was the team spirit. The team spirit is there that was, it was just non-existent the last 2 years. You know,
Yep.
everyone is together. You know, when someone scores at the final whistle, everyone coming up together, the players acknowledging certain players and pushing them forward to take the acknowledgement from the fans. You know, the camaraderie is superb, and that is something special. And that's why whoever you bring in to the club in January or from this point forward has to be, forget about the player. Obviously, he's got to be a player, but he has to be of a certain type of character. Okay, we cannot have the days of big time Charlies. We need to forget the big name signings now. In my opinion, we need to look for characters. We need to build players and build teams. It hasn't worked with Richarlison, 50 odd million. It hasn't worked with Ndombele, 60 million. But it's certainly working with the 15, 18, 20 million talents that we are buying, that are nurturing. We're nurturing, and you know, they are going to turn into beautiful polished stones. And I would rather go down that route, you know.
Yep. This actually, Madison taking, his corners have got a little bit to be desired, but everything else
not good enough.
The corners aren't good enough. Yeah, but do you know what? I do want to say a special mention, or not special mention, a positive. Listen, the Spurs fans this season, home and away, have been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But you go to Luton, and I think what was there, 700-800 of you? Not even 1,000. There weren't even 1,000.
There weren't many of us. There weren't many.
And the noise.
I mean, I swear to you, when the guy tried to, I stood in my seat, and there was hardly any room for someone to walk past you. You know, you stood up and you're like leaning over to try and let the person through. It was that. But listen, look, quaint grounds, and you know, that's part of football. That's what sets the Premier League apart from every single competition around the world. That a team like Luton could get into that league, basically.
Yep, and you know what? Dunzel Dog is a great supporter of the channel. Haven't seen him for a while, so welcome back, buddy. You're going to, because this is the part where the waxing lyrical begins. And as always, Johnny, over to you first.
It's got to be Mickey, isn't it? It's got to be Mickey. I wish they would sing, "Oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind." Hey, Mickey.
Mate.
Mickey. But they don't, right? They sing Mickey van der Ven, Mickey van der Ven, right? You know, we need to up the ante, right? 22 years of age, right? To all those people that trolled me, right, when I was going on and on and on about how great he was and about his pace and everything. He can't kick a ball. We need tap sober. This typical of this club, you know. We go for second best. The familiar thing. Get used to it, guys, because we're going left field, right? Okay, that's how we're operating now. Okay, and it's taken 23 years for us to start operating like this, right?
Yep.
And get on board, because this is what's happening. And Mickey van der Ven with Romero, and it's not just one on their own. They're together. They're unbelievable. But Mickey van der Ven yesterday, he's playing like a 28-year-old, okay? And I know Brian's favourite is Jan the Man, Vertonghen, right? But you know, I'm sorry, like this guy's going to surpass him if he carries on in this manner. The goal, the way he took the goal, he was literally celebrating almost in front of my face there. Yep. The passion, the way he settled in to this club in the Premier League. You know, bearing in mind he was playing in the Dutch second division. He's gone to Wolfsburg, and he's had a good season there. We haven't even seen him go full pace yet. We haven't
Correct.
even seen it. We have not even seen him in full mode. Yes, he could do better in the air. Okay, there are the things that he needs to improve. But if this is him at 22, imagine what he's going to be like when centre backs fully mature around about the age of 26. So he was immense yesterday. We did have mistakes yesterday. I'm not going to say we didn't.
He made one. He made one where he misjudged the ball, and thankfully Romero caught it up. But they
Yeah,
were
I
so
mean,
poor.
aerially, kind of ironic that I noticed this when when I was, before we signed him, that how can you be 6'4" and not great in the air? When you look at someone like Lucas Moura, who's about 5'7", right?
Yep.
Who was great in the air. He needs to improve his aerial judgment, but he was absolutely superb yesterday. Superb. And the goal probably gave him the man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, listen. We look at this guy, like you said, with his aerial ability. What he lacks in aerial ability, people could say, "How is a man at 6'4" so fast? How is a man at 6 foot?" So, I agree he needs to work on that. But you know what? I put a tweet out yesterday when they spoke about him and Romero, and they said these two, and I said bacon and eggs, bread and butter, burger and fries, Sonny and Cher, Paul and what's his name? John Lennon, blah 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 blah. All
Conte
great,
and Levy.
all great partnerships, but nothing beats these two. Ben Kaufman and myself, for the last 2 years on this channel, every single window, during the window when we've been linked with every position apart from left centre back, we have
Yeah.
said on every single stream, defenders, we need bloody defenders. And Mickey van der Ven, people are saying Maddison is the best signing of the window. I'm actually going to say Mickey van der Ven because of how badly we needed. I know we needed a Ericsson replacement, but our defence was a shambles. That was the area that needed it, and it was their partnership yesterday. But you saw the way he came out with the ball, the way he runs with the ball, his sliding tackles are timed. It seems to be a dying art, the sliding tackle. This man is bringing it back and is doing it over and over again. And like we say, every time he gets a different test, like the whole team, this guy is passing it with absolute flying colours. This guy, God, like you said, if he's only 22 now, and you know what? What I loved about him, like when we pushed Richarlison after Sheffield United, you were there.
Yeah.
We pushed Mickey van der
Well,
Ven.
I'm saying
Yeah,
they pushed him forward.
and he looked so shy and everything. But then when he was doing his interviews, you saw him hugging Romero, Maddison. He is such an incredible defender. And again, I asked myself, with players like him, how was no one else looking at him? And if they were, why? I mean, not that I'm complaining. Why didn't they rival? Because, like you said, and I'm going to admit it now, he is fastly. He's got a little way to go, but we are talking Jan Vertonghen vibes. I am talking right now. If Levy sold the club, I said immediately I buy a Spurs shirt with Alfie Devine's name on the back of it. But then I'd buy the away kit, and it would be Mickey van der Ven because I am in love with Mickey van der Ven, and I don't see how anyone can't be. But I'm going to use as my first one, and I saw if I go to the star comments, my brother Ryan, big up Ryan brother, um, this man, because this man was absolutely magnificent yesterday.
Yeah.
He was absolute from the first minute when he started making a massive run down the line. Um, he was he is leading that line. But the good thing is, like, it's amazing when you put an organised defence or a unit around him or around anyone. It's amazing what you can do when you put good players around them, isn't it? Because he's had to deal with the absolute dross that we've had.
Dyer, Davis.
Sanchez,
Yeah.
whoever it may be. It has been, but he yesterday, Romero, was absolutely incredible. And even when he becomes captain, when Sonny goes off, I was questioning that decision. I have to be honest. I was like, you hardly, whenever I see him doing interviews, you see him speaking Spanish, and that could be because he doesn't want to be misinterpreted by the media. Um, you can probably speak perfect English when he's with the lads, or at least communicate on the football pitch. Whatever he's doing this season, he is leading by example. He is showing the way. He looks determined. He looks eager. He looks ready. He looks disciplined. And I think Romero yesterday was magnificent. What do you think, Johnny?
I think he's £100 million defender. I would not have all season. Listen, the whole of last season, I was defending him. And I said, the guy's gone and won the World Cup, and then he has to come back and play with Dyer and Sanchez and Davis, and you wonder why he felt pissed off, right?
Yep.
I'd be pissed off because he was promised defenders, okay? He was promised quality, and now he has it.
Yep.
He has it in abundance. He's got the most duels won of any defender in the Premier League. 47, Brian, 47 duels won, more than anybody in the league. And it's not just that. His desire to get forward, the way he carries the ball, he's passing, right? Everyone talks about Toby. Why is no one talking about Romero's passing? Romero set up the pass for Porro for the goal against Liverpool, right? To put the ball in the box. He was the one that spotted him, in space. He kept driving the balls through, those long balls through at the front. His passing is absolutely superb, as is Mickey's. We are in the unusual position of having 4 defenders who want to go forward. You couldn't have fought.
Not even one, Johnny, can go forward.
Yeah, want to, can do, and will score goals. I mean, Romero scored 2, right? He scored 2 goals. Great header and a fantastic shot. I mean, look, I've said it before, and I think the people, form is temporary, class
is permanent.
Class is permanent. And yes, his form was off a little bit, but he is class, okay? And all the people that wanted him out, I'd sell him tomorrow. I saw it all last season. Where are you now, guys, right? Okay? I've eaten humble pie over Porro. I always thought he was great going forward. I never said anything other than that. I thought he was fantastic going forward. But I questioned him defensively. And if you've said that he should be going, Romero, you've got it wrong. Because let me tell you, if Real Madrid came in with a bid of 80, 90 million pounds, we'd all be shitting ourselves because, okay, Mickey van der Ven's very good, but who are you going to put him with next? And we're walking a very thin line because if we lose Mickey or Romero,
yep,
we're in dog do.
We are. And your next special mention, Johnny?
I'm going to mention the man who overshadowed his dad, Papa Sarr, right? He showed maturity yesterday in his play, especially when Bissouma went off in that second half. There was a guy behind me kept going, get Sarr off, get Sarr off. I had to turn around and say, mate, honestly, get down to Specsavers. He's going off. You'll see. Mate, he ain't going off, okay? He's not going anywhere, okay? I thought he was superb yesterday. And he was in a sort of an unremarkable role where he was cleaning up. He was trying to win balls. He was trying to keep possession. It was a really, really mature performance from him, if not, the standout performance where he was shooting on goal and what have you. But we're going to need that when we play Fulham because to not have Bissouma when we have to play Paulinho, who, in my opinion, is, well, last season's stat was by far and away the best 6 DM in the league. But Papa was mature, and we're going to need him next week, big time. I just thought he was really, really strong yesterday. and he's getting better and better. And it certainly showed when a certain Oliver Skip came on, who this guy said, take Sarr off and bring Skip on. Skip looked like I don't know, he'd just been woken up or something. You know, the gulf in levels between the two is vast. So that was for me one of the mentions. He's probably not the remarkable mention that everyone would probably be thinking of, but there is another one. If you could save that for me, because I need to. I think you know the one I need.
Well,
otherwise, okay.
I think I may have just been about to mention him. That was my next one.
Okay.
I think it is, but we'll have a double chat on it anyway, because we'll go back and forth anyway. So, Pape Matt, do you know what? To start off with, Pape Matar Sarr, to start off with, some of his passing was sloppy. Some.
Yeah.
He's been very, very. You know, you and me have been chomping at the bit of him and been very, very supportive of him. He is, what people got to remember is his non-stop running and commitment to the team. And where his first half may have been a few sloppy bits, in the second half, when he knew he had extra work to do, extra ground to cover, boy, did he come of age. This guy, like we said with Van der Ven and our team, okay, this is a test for him. This is a test for him. Can he pass it? Can he? He has been incredible. You think about it, he didn't start the first game. He started against United, and he has been part of a incredible midfield three that was down to two for out of that three. And yesterday he ran his legs off. He was absolutely immense. And people don't, when you look at it and understand it, I used to be like it until we started doing this and you really watch the game because you're talking about it. It's not just what he does on the ball; it's the work he does off the ball, which is so it's incredible. It really is, and he definitely deserves a special mention. So I'm going to mention him, and you're going to nod your head and let me know if
No.
him
Can
or
I
not.
just finish? I just want to add something
Go
there, which I think is quite important here. Right, is that with Ange, right, the passes that Sarr is making that went astray, had he done those under Conte, he'd probably not be playing the next game, because he made a pass that didn't go to his man. Okay, but Ange ball is not about that. Ange ball is take risks, pass the ball forward. Yes, you'll lose the ball. Yes, you could lose the ball, but we go again, right? We go again.
Yep.
Keep going. Keep trying. Making those. I would rather, yes, you're going to have chance where you lose possession and you've got a counter attack. But the point is, to dare is to do, to try. Better to have tried and failed than never to have tried at all. And I don't want to go back to that negative passing. Let's keep the ball. Let's make a safe square pass, a side pass, a back pass, right? So all the players are making those type of maybe dangerous or more risky passes forward in the hope of trying to break the lines. And that's what happened in that first half. But as you say, second half, it was a totally different. He stepped up and showed Bissouma the maturity that he should have had yesterday.
Correct. And if you look at it, Johnny, you just reminded me another point. People that watched Match of the Day yesterday, if you had watched Man U's game first, the thing that Ian Wright and Danny Murphy said is Man U are playing so safe. They're playing so boring. It's like there's passes open. They're not trying. They're just going for the easy pass because of the pressure they're under, because of the attention they're under. And they had so many opportunities where they've just whipped the ball in quicker or made that dangerous pass. They could have been in. Well, that was us last season and the season before and the season before. We're being so adventurous now. You're going to make mistakes. But if you want attacking football and you're going to play attacking football, you're going to make mistakes. It's how you react to those mistakes and deal with it. And that's exactly what we're doing.
We were scared. Look, last season, the players were scared. The players were scared to make a mistake, right? And we played with fear. Now we're playing with no fear, right? There's no repercussions. When Romero got that own goal, no one was there. Eric Dyer pointing fingers and saying, "Look at you, an idiot," right? No, they all huddled round and they encouraged him.
Yep.
All for one and one for all.
Exactly.
Like,
Now the next special mention, and Johnny, let me know if it's who you were going to say. You've taken mine a couple of times. I think it's my time to take yours. A certain person that comes in for a lot of stick, a certain person that's Marmite with the fans. I know Danny's in the chat. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg against Liverpool came on for 3 minutes and was very, very progressive. He came on, and I think yesterday put in a wonderful performance. Listen, he's not everyone's cup of tea. He comes on and he had to do a job. He had to do a job, and I think he did it brilliantly. And obviously, he'll come in for Fulham, without a doubt. It will be him. Um, and I think some respect needs to go on his name because he's coming in and being a team player, which we always know he has been. May doubt his quality, but you can't doubt his commitment. And I think he had a wonderful second half, Johnny.
listen, he came in and did the job, unlike Oliver Skip, who to me was just honestly just a waste of space. Højbjerg is a top player, right? There's too many people that don't rate him. Too many people say he's not good, and you know, I'm not interested in it. He's a top professional. He comes in, he does a job. If you see him play for Denmark, he plays further forward. He's progressive. He's a completely different player for Denmark, and it's the experience. There were things that he did in that second half, which was clever,
Yep.
using your brain. Okay, the passes, yes, you know, when you're down to 10 men, you're not going to make those certain passes we spoke about Saar making in that first half, because we're closing out the game. There's not long left in the game. Okay, so use your brain and make clever passes. He's come on to steady the ship against Bournemouth. He's come on to steady the ship in various games, right? I've always rated him. I've always liked him. And, you know, the people who seem to have forgotten that relationship he had with Bentancur when, for some reason, Conte put him in a two-man midfield, guy. Two-man midfield, okay? When we were overrun in every game, and yet Conte chose to play a two-man midfield.
Yep.
I think right now, if you had a three-man midfield, like we played the three-man midfield with Papa Sarr last season, with a Bissouma, a Bentancur, and a Bissouma or Sarr or whoever, we would have seen a different player. He needs respect, right?
Yep.
I personally don't want to see him go because I feel like we need him, because we don't have. Imagine if he had gone right now. You really want to bring on Oliver Skip to chase the chicken? Because that's basically, that's what I feel he is. He's the guy in the field chasing that chicken around the field, trying to catch it. He's limited. He's got lots of heart. He's got lots of passion.
Yep.
But there's a limit, and we're a bit short in that thing. And Højbjerg yesterday has the football intelligence to get us through that game.
Okay, Johnny, before you put on your next special mention, we are 261 in here. We are Paul Gascoigne, the number 8 likes away from hitting 100.
Is
So
that all?
if
100 likes out of 250.
260, 261. So hopefully
we've got the Daniel Levy.
It's got up to 95. It's got up to 96.
Just keep pressing on that button, guys. We need it for the algorithm, right?
It's at 95. But yeah, Johnny, your next special mention. And
okay.
thank you for everyone that's liked.
If
115. We're at 115.
If Craig is in here or any of the others, Pedro Porro.
There we go.
You know, should have scored probably yesterday. 100% he should have scored. But if you strip that out, he was superb yesterday. I clipped a great video of him after he won the tackle that every Tom, Dick and Harry nicked.
Oh, Jesus Christ, big time.
Everyone nicked the video off of me, and I don't even get a credit for it. But there's a stage where he's won the tackle, he's gone like that. And, you know, he was so fired up. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. That's the passion that you want that's been sorely missing. he was winning tackles. I don't know why they call him a right back, because he spent 90% of his time in the midfield, or attacking. I do feel that we could utilise him more forward. I just want to see more of those crosses that he's got in the ball, more of those balls that he put in for Son, those two fantastic balls that he put in for Son against Burnley, which were fantastic. I think he's so dangerous up front. I still feel that, if there was an injury, I'll keep saying it, but if there was an injury to Maddison or to Kulu or something, he's definitely the one that I'd be pushing. I'd be pushing forward. He played with fire and passion yesterday, and tremendous. I had a fantastic game yesterday.
Yep. I just want to say to this guy with the brilliant name, welcome to the Tottenham on Tour family. We've actually hit a new milestone. We've made 7,400 subscribers, so we're on the march to 8,000. So thank you very much, and everyone that's new to the family, welcome. Listen, again, you and me, and it's been very well documented within the community and everything that we said at the beginning of the season. Porro simply can't defend, and since the Manchester United game, we have both come out and said how incredible he has been and how much better he's going game by game. And I even said last week against Liverpool was his best game. He is magnificent. He is absolutely, like I said, I hadn't seen that video of yours till I had my little go for it, until you said, oh my God, everyone's nicked my video. The passion for winning a corner was incredible. And the move for that goal, do you know what? He looks comfortable to receive the ball in defence. When he's going for the tackle, I'm 100% confident. His passing, his link-up play, his movement, everything this man is doing, and it's a huge credit to him coming to England, and it's for all professionals, but doesn't know the language, had a very, very baptism of fire with the shit show that was going on last season.
Yeah.
Has come in, embraced the new manager, and I said it last week, and I'll say it again. For me, he is the most improved player at Tottenham Hotspur by a country mile. He was absolutely awesome yesterday. And do you know what? There were times, even when you look at it, Johnny, and I know obviously you're a bigger Emerson fan than I am, but Emerson, I think he's a decent player, Emerson Royale. We were like, why has he been dropped? But I'm sorry, no matter what you say, no matter what anyone says, Pedro Porro has got to be one of the first names on the team sheet right now, because I think he has been absolutely magnificent.
The problem we have, Brian, is Roy will leave now. Emerson Roy will leave. He'll probably go to a top club. He will go to a top club. To all the people who say he's shit, right? Honestly, you've got no clue, right? He will go to a top club and he'll have a good career. The problem we have then is what happens if he gets injured, Porro? Who's going to be our backup? Who's going to be our backup? So, we're going to need to sign another right back, but I got a feeling you could see Spence back at the club. But let's see.
That's
What
a good point, actually. That could be the return of Spence. We'll have to wait and see. But Hemorrhoid Hurts, you're more than welcome to the fan. Thank you for the super chat. It's another person from Australia. Just I think we're going to be doing it on Wednesday nights.
That's a great picture. I mean,
that's
a great early morning picture. Sorry, you're having breakfast. It looked like you got hemorrhoids on your head.
so I think it's going to be every Wednesday. We did a late night show on Friday, but we're going to make it Wednesdays, where it's going to be late night Toronto, but breakfast Australia. So we're going to be focusing a lot of time.
Is that UK, bro?
2 a.m.
Oh, 2 a.m.
So if you're awake, you can join Johnny, but I doubt you will be, unless you just come off a space. But yeah. So you said Porro. Now I'm going to mention someone, and he didn't have an outstanding game, but he's the birthday boy. He didn't have a lot to do, but do you know how much I loved his shithousery yesterday? Right near the end, when he just caught the ball, and I remember Allison doing it when he was taking the piss out of a goalkeeper last year. I think it was the Merseyside derby, when he was taking the piss out of Pickford. and he just kept dropping down to the floor and holding up the ball. I love Vicario. Ren is member 001. Ryan Isaacs is
Oh,
002.
was he too? I don't know about
Well,
that.
right, no, you and James
Yeah,
Flower are presidents. You
yeah,
don't get a number.
yeah.
You're the founders.
Me and
I,
James were right from the off.
yeah, exactly. And so was Ryan, to be fair. But Ren got there first with 001, and seeing that Ren took 001, I'm taking 013. I'm taking his number because just that shithousery, and even again, what I do like, what when he Hugo Lloris, I always had the worry if he had nothing to do, when something did come his way, it was going to startle him, is distribute everything. Nothing phases this man whatsoever. Not a thing. And he just keeps growing and growing and growing in stature. And just for his shithousery, I'm giving Vicario a special mention, and because it was his birthday.
I got to be honest with you. I don't remember Hugo making the impact, that he was that Big Vic has made. I never liked the fact. Listen, I'm not going to say he was a poor keeper because he wasn't, Hugo, but I never thought he could kick the ball. And the other thing was, I never felt he was tall enough. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I really do, and I feel like he's Spider-Man. As Nima said to me, the Italian journalist, when we were linked with him, he messaged me, sent me a video that he just done this piece on him, and he said he's going to be better than Donnarumma, and he will be the Italian keeper. He believed.
Yep.
And if Spurs sign him, it's a major coup because every top Italian team were after him, and this is where Fabio comes in again, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the signings. You look at that team. Look at that team. Look how many players have been signed by the Don, and realise, yes, you need the manager to go with it. We all know that, right? As can be seen with the fact that players like Sarr and Bissouma who weren't getting played, but he's providing him the ammunition, and Big Vic is just another one of those to add to the arsenal. Oh, sorry.
Of all words,
slight
you
slip
had
of
a
the
whole
tongue there.
dictionary of things there.
But
But yeah, who's your next special mention,
Cotton
Johnny?
Wall. It's got to be Maddison.
Let's do it.
Look, the one thing that's really concerning, right, and it was meant to be in the negatives, so I'll quickly mention it, was I think it's a disgrace that these two are even being allowed to go on international duty. They are not fit. If they can only do 60 minutes for us, they should not be going to play Vietnam and Tunisia and whoever England are playing. I haven't even looked, to be honest with you. I have no interest at the moment. All I hear is Arteta talking about Saka, being rested and, looked after. Well, forget it, right? We should be there. And this is the one thing I agree with Conte. We never complain about our fixtures. We never complain about certain things. We should be saying to the Koreans, you want him for the Asian Cup for a month? Well, listen, okay, we need him now. It's a friendly. It doesn't mean anything. If he gets injured out there, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help us. And the same with James Maddison. I know he wants an England career, but mate, if you've only got 60 minutes, you ain't going to England. Put your foot down, stop it, and do it. But yesterday, he did that turn right in front of me. I was literally.
You are so lucky when you do your videos. You are so lucky. You have an uncanny knack of knowing when something's about to happen.
I only do it when we're in attack, we're in attack mode or something. But I mean, that moment, that turn, and the pass. I mean, yeah, it was a fantastic finish. But what I really liked about him was his resilience yesterday, because the amount of times they went through the back of him in the first few minutes. You saw, I don't know if you saw a piece in the paper. I can't remember the Luton Town player's name. But he said,
the one that's going to smash into him.
I'm going to smash into Maddison, right? I'm going to smash him all over the place, right? Hello? Who should be saying that? And then 2 seconds into the game, bang into the back of him,
Yep.
bang into the back of him, into the back of Son. The referee's doing nothing, but he still kept going and kept going and kept going. And if it hadn't been for that great turn and he lost his man and that great pullback, we wouldn't be anywhere.
He did the Saka turn on him, didn't he? He did basically did the Saka
Yeah.
turn. But before I speak about matters, Johnny, we're gonna have to get a notepad and pen out because you and James are president and chairman
I
of.
don't think so.
No,
Can we talk
I was
about
about to
Son?
say you and
Yeah.
me are president and chairman of that, so we don't get a
Yeah.
number. Chris S, you are now fan number
And
001.
0-1.
When it comes to,
Yeah.
well, it depends, Chris. We prefer to give. You have the choice. So put in the comments. Do you want to be 001 or SAR's actual squad number? Rencho 001 for Vicario. You're going to get the same choice for SAR. But you are the main man of the SAR club, right, Madison? I'm going to have to say, this man could find space in a phone box, even if a sumo wrestler was in there. I don't know how he does it. I don't think the league know. He was magnificent again. He wasted a couple of opportunities in that first half, but the thing about him is he may waste that chance or whatever because we're being adventurous. But you just know at one point he's going to create at least one, two, or three or more key moments for a player to get a goal. And again, yesterday, another assist on him. So Chris has decided he is 001. There you go. So that's what you got, Chris. But yeah, James Maddison yesterday was absolutely on point again. And I agree. We've been talking about this on the channel for a bit, and when I've gone on shows, I think there's got to be something done when it comes to it with releasing players. Listen, I know they're patriotic. I know they want to play for their team, but like you said, especially when it comes to Son, who's going to be in the Asia Games, if you want him fit and ready for the Asia Games, keep him at Tottenham so we can keep him fit. Stop him travelling all that distance. Listen, like people said, there may be contractual obligations with people like Samson and other endorsements that he has.
Let him go and take some photographs. But does he need? Look, he's going to be. It's a 14-hour flight. It's
You
a
and David.
14. Yeah, it's a 14-hour flight to Korea. In fact, it's longer because I don't think you can go direct. Right, I fly direct to Singapore. It's nearly 14 hours. Right, I think you then go from Singapore to Korea.
There we go.
And then you go from Korea to Vietnam. Then you get in a bus and you travel to the stadium. Then you fly back to Korea. Then you fly to Tunisia, right? All of this compression cabin with your muscles and everything. We all know how you feel after a long haul flight. When you're a sportsman, it's detrimental, right? It is not a good thing. It serves nobody's purpose, none at all. I'm really dead set against it. I really am. And FIFA need to hang their freaking head in shame, right? Because we're talking about playing less games and they're putting more and more games on. It just does not make sense to me what's going on.
You're right. You're right. Big up, Zach, another massive supporter of the channel. And yeah, look, we're expanding. We now have 2 Wales correspondents. So we have Colin and David from Tottenham Hall being our Wales correspondents. But I am going to mention someone. And I'm going to give another second mention in a week to Dejan Kulusevski. And I'm giving it to him. Listen, we all know his crossing isn't where it needs to be.
Oh, so frustrating.
He can be very frustrating, but and Johnny, you would have seen it, especially down at 10 men, his work rate, his hold up
It's
play.
fantastic.
When he was on the break, when he had to hold things up or slow things down. Yes, he needs to get so much better with his end product, and he needs to find that confidence back from when he first came, and he could take on anyone. He could find pace when he isn't, but he had the answer to everything. But yesterday, just like we were crediting Pape Matar for his off the ball work,
yeah,
he was absolutely awesome yesterday. And you know what? I've looked at him very differently from the moment they said that he'd done the most running in the Premier League. I was like, okay, well that's great to see the players running. It's what they should be doing. but there hadn't been any end product. But yesterday, when you went down to 10 men on a tight pitch, you saw exactly what he brought to the team. And I think yesterday he deserves a lot more credit than he's getting for his performance yesterday, Johnny.
Listen, I saw him up close in that second half when he was taking the ball into the corners, working it with Porro there, and I thought he was superb. But I thought he was superb against Liverpool. I've got to be honest with you. You know, he's out ball for Big Vic to get it to Kulu, to hold the ball up, to bring the ball out, to hold play up. You know, like I used to go on about Porro's defending, but I loved him going forward. Now he's cured that, right? And his defending's been superb. With Kulu, just get the ball in the box, right? His strength is brilliant. His hold-up play is brilliant. His engine is brilliant. The only thing for me, when you beat your man, cross the ball with your weak foot. Just cross the ball with your weak foot. It can't be any worse than cutting back because, as I say, when you're a defender and you're running backwards, you're running towards your own goal, okay, and if someone whips in the ball, it's much harder to defend. But when you cut back, when Kulu cuts back in onto his right foot, to the foot he wants to use, the defender is now facing the goal, and it's much easier for him to defend. But he was superb yesterday, and his work rate and hold-up play was superb. Absolutely.
And you know what? Before we go to your next special mention, which is yours afterwards, I'm going to ask you a question. But first, I'm going to ask you two questions because one's come in from Rich about a different player that we can just talk about very briefly. But I'm going to ask you this question. I'm going to ask specifically Colin Cross and David if they're here. Or I know Colin is, but I don't know if David is, and everyone in the comments. Would you like to see when Brennan Johnson is back, Brennan Johnson on the right, and seeing Kulu on the left, where he can use his left foot more to get balls in? Do you think? Because look, let's face it, when Johnson's back, Richarlison's out. When he's back to foot, I think we can all agree on that. Regardless, we'll have the added pace. Would people want to see Johnson on the right, Decky on the left? I would like to see it and see if it works. What about you, Johnny?
Listen, he sees this all in training. With a fully fit team, I think the big test for us is going to come in January, where we are going to have gaping holes. We're going to have Sarr gone, we're going to have Bissouma gone, and we're going to have Sonny gone.
Yep.
And I've said this before, I would like to see at that stage Kulu potentially move inside, okay, into an 8 or a role to play alongside Maddison potentially because he's got the strength to win the ball. And we've got lots of options. You know, we do have lots of options. I'd like to see Brian Gill. Everyone's forgotten about Brian Gill.
Of course, actually.
You know, and for me, Brian Gill, when I saw the appointment, I thought Son can't play on the left, Kulu can't play on the right, because they're not hug the touchline type players. That was my feeling. But I really could see Brian Gill being that jinky type of Jota player that he had at Celtic. So we will see, but there's lots and lots of options. But we are going to have to move everything around come January.
Yep.
And I would like, that's why it's a shame we're out the cup, because we would have had a good run. We haven't played anyone yet. We've been playing Norwich and some other crap team.
Yep.
Ipswich, I think we would have played next. But I think I would have then taken that cup to try different formations in preparation for what's coming in January. Because don't forget, the likelihood is we'll have injuries on top of these players missing.
Correct.
Okay? You know, we're assuming everyone will be fit and then it will just be missing those 3. So let's wait and see. It's early doors. Bentancur, I don't believe he'll be back till January. Yeah. So there's lots of options.
So the second question I was going to ask you before we get back to special mentions, and you were there, so you got to see him a bit more, from Rich, who's a great supporter of the channel. How would you have said Billy?
Right. So So when we signed Veliz, I happen to know through like certain things that a lot of clubs were after Veliz. I happened to see him, as I mentioned before, by mistake, watching the Under-20 World Cup. I tried to watch the Israeli team who were performing superbly, and I turned on and Veliz was playing for Argentina. Well, I saw him score a goal. When we signed him, we go, oh, another crap signing. You know, we can't buy a proper striker. We got to buy some kid. He's another bloody Brian Gill. Yeah. Anyone who saw him yesterday, he is a massive unit, right? He is massive. He's a tank, right? He's 19, right? He's 19. He's bigger. It's like a tank. He is going to be, let me tell you something, right? Obviously, he's got to get up to speed. Again, he's being drip-fed into the team.
Yep.
Slowly, but slowly, not thrown in, so that come January, or come when Richarlison's not there, or when Sonny goes, he's going to be the man, right? But if you've seen the videos and you've seen the backup, he loves that ball in the air. Oh. He loves that ball in the air, right? He is so good in the air, right? When he goes up for the ball, go and look at the Rosario Central, some of the Rosario Central videos. I had a TikTok account, which has unfortunately been taken down, but I posted quite a few of them on there. And he's an absolute beast. And we're going to look again, and we're going to say, we're going to look back on another signing and say, look, we paid $17 million for this guy, right? Okay. It's one of the most amounts we've ever played for a South American, straight out South American at such a young age. There's a reason. There's a reason why. He's going to hold the ball. He is going to be a beast. I feel like he needs to get a bit better in the on the ground, but in the air, he's going to dominate. He reminds me of the old-fashioned 1970s sort of
centre forward.
Yeah, the Malcolm McDonald's, elbows up, you know, bouncing
Chivers.
off of him.
No,
Chivers.
he's got the Chivers build.
All of those sort of yeah.
Right, so I think we've wrapped up special mentions, haven't we?
Yeah.
So it's time. Aussie. Again, it's another win. It's another unbeaten performance. What have you got to say about Big Ange? Good morning, audio, sir.
I mean, look, you couldn't imagine really that Tottenham, well, many people couldn't imagine that you could lose Harry Kane and become a better team. I've always said, you know, I love Harry Kane, right? So just for clarity here, before I go on to what I'm going to say, I always felt that Harry Kane was Tottenham. In the press, he was Tottenham. The players looked for him in every moment. Where's Harry? Pass the ball to Harry. And I felt that, you know, you could talk all day long about Harry Kane, really. And it was sad that he left. But now every player is taking responsibility. Every player is part of this team. And I will say it again, and I said it before at the beginning of the season. If you look at that Leicester squad that won the league, and I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but I'm just saying, if you look at that Leicester squad that won the league, if you look really through it, apart from Mahrez and maybe Vardy, and he's not exactly world-class, he was a good striker, come from non-league. There was no one really truly remarkable. They were a team. And what Ange has done is got us playing as a unit. Everyone for themselves, everyone together. No pointing of fingers when someone gets it wrong. Everyone together. When it goes wrong, we're together. When someone is the hero, Richie, pushing forward. Mickey van der Ven, pushing forward into the limelight, right?
Yep.
Okay. Acknowledge every member of the team. Everyone is a key component in it. And I just feel that there's more continuity, there's more fluidity in the team. And everyone is working towards a common goal. And I haven't seen that in a long time. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not actually even sure I saw that under Pochettino in that sense, because again we had Kane, and Kane was the mainstay of that team. When we sit here and we talk about special mentions, I think last season and the season before and the season before, we'd maybe talk about one or two players.
Yeah.
Harry Kane, Bentancur.
Yep.
You know,
Put it this way, the negatives would have been a lot longer.
Yeah, but now we're talking in glowing terms about so many players: the keepers, the midfield, the wingers, and the defenders. Right, so it's all positive, and that's I believe, yes, down to great recruitment, yeah, together is stronger, and I believe that's what Ange has installed into this squad.
Do you know what, Johnny? As you and me have this uncanny knack of doing it to each other. I was waiting for you to finish, and the first thing I was going to say was the difference between this and Pochettino. And I was just listening to you, and then you said Mauricio Pochettino. Now, I remember very, very well the second season of Poch, or maybe in the second season, when we beat Man City on Valentine's Day at Man City. And it was the first time that Pochettino proper went over to the fans, and the fans started believing that something was happening. This man's doing it now. This man is doing it now, and it's not just because we're doing it from the beginning. Every single game, it's not just. I remember last few seasons, Harry Kane would go right up to all the stands like Gareth Bale used to, clap
on his
and
own often.
but a few of them would come towards in between the penalty box and the halfway line and applaud the South Stand, and obviously the rest. They're taking time to go over and actually spend time, whether it's travelling away fans, whether it be at home, where they're putting on the Free From Desire song. They are making a connection. Now, listen, I know Stunny's taking a lot of credit for it, and rightfully so, but Ange has a hell of a lot to do with this. A hell of a lot to do with it. Like you said, Johnny, when we did Burnley, we noticed that he gives the players the moment, and he hangs back, and then he comes forward and has his moment, which he richly, richly deserves. You see him in press conferences, the way he talks about VAR and how he wants it, or he doesn't agree with it the way it is. He is so refreshingly honest. He is so refreshingly delightful to listen. Like I said before, he could read the back of a cereal box, and I would want to listen to more from him. I'd be like, tell me about another cereal. The way he endorses the team, not he will mention special mentions like we do, but like Van de Ven, he said he was outstanding yesterday. The way he has got players, I can't remember when we've brought 7 players in and 7 have hit the ground running. Or Ashley Phillips, let's minus because he obviously hasn't. But the players that have come into this first team have settled bang. You saw Van de Ven saying, I've come here, this is a family. You hear all these players say it when they go to the team, oh, the lads have. But you can see it in their eyes. You can see it in their smile. You can see it everything they do. And whatever, this man is a genius. He is an absolute genius because we mentioned the fans. The fans this season, home and away, have been outstanding. They believe everything this man is going to do or say. And once again, it's another masterclass from our Australian. And long, long, long may it continue. And Johnny, I've got a question for you, and it's to everyone actually. Rich has been firing with the questions. Colin mentioned it. He went back to casual Ange yesterday. What do you prefer, casual Ange or dapper Ange?
Ange can be whatever he likes. If he wants to put on a kangaroo suit and hop around the pitch afterwards, I'm all for it personally. But to be honest with you, I didn't even look. I quite like Dapper Ange. I'll be honest. Dapper Ange, yeah, I prefer Dapper Ange. Yeah, I've got 2 looks. I'm casual Spurs, and when I'm out, I'm smarter. But no, he's definitely casual Ange to yesterday, but I prefer smart Ange. But that's right. Spurs of old would have 100% lost that game yesterday. That's what we were all talking about. The belief. Look, I don't believe we played well against Sheffield United. I don't believe we played well against Liverpool. I don't believe we played well against Luton. But I look at the table and we won all 3 games.
Yep.
Who would believe it? Who would believe it? And I'll tell you one thing. Other fans are talking about us now.
Oh.
They are all talking about us, right?
Mate.
We're rattling a few cages. We're rattling a few cages. It's early doors. Look, we all know there's a mile to go. There's like another 30 games, right? Okay. So let's not get carried away. But, you know, the fact that we've got the least amount of games at any club in the whole of the 5 divisions should allow us to prepare for every single game. And let's see.
You got to say, I mean, I'm going to answer. You went dapper Ange. I'm going casual Ange. I think casual Ange is so much better. You got to remember, Pochettino did this, didn't he? He was in his tracksuit for some matches, but the big games, he donned the suit. He donned the suit. Like you said, mate, he could literally come out. He could literally, as Jose Mourinho said, wear his Tottenham Hotspur pajamas. And I wouldn't give a monkeys. He could come out in a swimming costume and rub a ring, for all I care. I don't think the Premier League would like it, but wouldn't care. Whatever this man wants to wear, whatever this man wants to do, I am totally and utterly all for it. So just before we wrap up, Johnny always asks, what's the scores on the doors? So Johnny, I'm going to give you this. Let me just refresh. It's so good. Now I've got 2 screens. I can see.
All right. Okay.
That's keep looking down at my phone. We had about 270, there's 306 people in right now, and we're up to 166 likes. So we're over
That's
halfway.
very poor, guys. Come on.
We're over 50%, which is all good.
I know, but come on, guys. It's just a thumb. It's just a thumb press. It's the thumb button. It's the thumb button. You know what I'd really like to do?
Go on, buddy.
I'd like to fly over to Italy right now and ask Antonio Conte. Yeah. Antonio, so what are you thinking about these crappy players that you had in Bissouma and Sarr, and you know the club is shit and the mentality can't be changed and all the rest of it? Because just to remind you, this is the best start the club has had since 1960. If you had stop whinging, right, and stop moaning and blaming everybody, you know. I think, you know, you could have done it, mate, but it was all about you. Ange made it all about the fans and the players, right? It's not all about you, mate. And that bullshit ship has sailed and it has left, right? No one wants 100%. That football anymore. And, you know, Ange has made me proud to be a Spurs fan again. He's made the players proud to play for the club. And he's turned everything around. It might fail tomorrow. Fulham will be a very hard game at home without Bissouma. As I said, Paulinho is a force to be reckoned with. And they've got that Brazilian who was superb again yesterday. I keep forgetting his name. You know, there's a long journey, a long way to go yet. But I would really, really love to be top of the league when the man in the hoodie comes with his Chelsea team, because that's going to be a huge game.
Colin's bang on. He is bang on.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the thing. I mean, you look at it very quickly. We got
Dare to dream.
We got Fulham and Palace. If we can get through that, with 6 points, and then go into Chelsea, my God, my God, if we go into November undefeated, beat Chelsea. You watch the ammo that's going to be coming our way from fans going, I can't wait. I cannot wait. But Johnny, where can people find you?
There we go. Whoa, Johnny H3232. If you go to my page now, you'll see some of the footage from yesterday, from yesterday's game. And you can find me on here and on some of the Cockerel Doodle Doos. Although next week, Brian, I need to talk to you. I've got a couple of things.
We'll have a chat when we go off.
Yeah, you'll see me on Ange-r Management, and let's just hope that we carry on winning.
I have to say, Tigaro, thank you for the super chat, by the way. You've been in love with Ange since Barcelona in 2011. I have to say, do you know what? I went to the Scotland Yard, as people know, for the first time in 11 long months. There were 80 people for a 7:30 a.m. game on Thanksgiving weekend at the Scotland Yard. There's going to be over 250 for the Chelsea already confirmed. And there were a couple of Australians that came over and said hello to me because they see me on these channels, and sat with us, and they were talking about how they've been with, and they were telling us stuff about Ange. I mean, I can't remember, but we're going to be meeting with them regularly. It was an absolutely the Australian love for Tottenham Hotspur, like we've seen on the channel, the growth, and obviously around the world and everything, and all the other channels. But they're here in Canada as well. They're coming to the games. They're being part of Toronto Spurs, and I've never seen a manager. I'm not even joking, but apart from like when Pep moves, I can't think of another manager that has grabbed a club and a nation and brought such a surge of energy to one football club. Can you think of anyone, Johnny?
No, not immediately. I mean, this has been immediate. I'm waiting for the people who have been saying to me, "Oh, look at you getting carried away." Ange is just like, we had the same with this one. We had the same under Nuno. We had the Nuno people first, and well, we won the first three. Then look what happened. Then we had the Conte ones where we started that well last season. Look where we ended up. Where are you now? What is your next line going to be? Because I know you're going to come the second that we drop a point or we lose a game, which we will lose a game. You know, it's going to happen. But, you know, I'm not hopping off the train, right? Because I've enjoyed every moment. I've had more joy, more excitement, more fun in the first 8 games of this season than I have since Pochettino year 2, 3, 4, probably. Yeah.
There we go. So listen, guys, what I will say is all week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Cockerel Doodle Doo will be back with Ben doing the live ones on Monday and Friday, and me doing a pre-recorded one that'll be premiered for Tuesday and Wednesday. The only bad thing about international break, or one of the bad things, is it means no Ange-r Management for a couple of weeks. So we will be back. It'll be a Tuesday, mate. It'll be a Tuesday. I have to get up very early on a Tuesday because we're the Monday Night Football, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%.
So it'll be Tuesday, the 24th of October. But I just want to say, for all the regular people that have joined the show and keep helping this show grow, and all the new people that have joined, like Hemorrhoid Hurts, it's going to feel weird saying that every single time, but I'm more than happy to say it. Please like and share this stream because we're growing this channel at a very, very rapid rate, and we love doing this show and we love having you guys with us along with the ride for the journey. So please do continue to like, share, and everything. And thank you for your continued support. And I've decided when we win games, and I say what I normally say for a goodbye, it's getting changed because today is all about the team once again that are top of the league. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, come on, you Spurs.
Go on, Spurs.
Tottenham on tour.